Have you ever felt that crushing weight on your chest when you're just sitting quietly watching television? Or maybe you've experienced that dizzy spell that makes you grab onto the nearest wall, wondering if this is the moment your heart finally gives out. I know exactly what it's like to live with that constant fear, checking your blood pressure multiple times a day, carrying medications everywhere you go, avoiding joyful moments with family because you're terrified that excitement might make your heart work too hard. Hypertension steals more than just our health. It robs us of our peace, our freedom. And the worst part is hearing those same generic recommendations over and over. Cut the salt, lose weight, take your medications, as if it were that simple, right? After years of helping people just like you regain control over their blood pressure, I've discovered there are solutions your doctors rarely mention. Solutions that are natural, accessible, and actually work. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the single most dangerous habit that's secretly driving your blood pressure through the roof, a habit so common that 90% of my patients are shocked when I tell them about it. Imagine being able to gather with your grandchildren without worry, travel without fear of an emergency away from home, or simply wake up without that heavy feeling in your chest. This isn't just another empty promise. This is a proven path you can start today, with simple changes that are already within your reach. So stay with me until the end, because this might be the most important video you watch this year for your cardiovascular health. Before we begin, I'd love to know if you or someone in your family struggles with high blood pressure. Leave a comment below sharing your experience or any questions you have about the subject. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to receive more content that can transform your health. Now, let me tell you about Sarah, a 62-year-old teacher who came to my office last month with blood pressure readings that scared both of us. Despite taking 3 different medications and following what she thought was a heart-healthy diet, her numbers kept climbing. When I asked her about her daily routine, she mentioned something that immediately caught my attention. Every morning, she would start her day with what millions of Americans consider a healthy choice: a large glass of orange juice, followed by her morning coffee with 2 packets of artificial sweetener. What Sarah didn't realize, and what most people don't know, is that this seemingly innocent combination was creating a perfect storm in her cardiovascular system.
The habit I need to warn you about isn't smoking, isn't eating too much salt, and it isn't even stress, although all of these matter. The habit that's silently destroying your blood pressure is chronic dehydration combined with excessive consumption of hidden sodium and artificial additives that your body mistakes for threats. You see, when your body is even mildly dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker, forcing your heart to work harder to pump it through your arteries. But here's where it gets really dangerous. When you're dehydrated and you consume high-sodium foods or drinks with artificial ingredients, your body goes into emergency mode, constricting blood vessels and raising your blood pressure to dangerous levels. Most of my patients are shocked to learn they're chronically dehydrated. They tell me they drink plenty of fluids: coffee, tea, sodas, energy drinks, fruit juices. But what they don't realize is that many of these beverages actually contribute to dehydration, while simultaneously flooding their system with hidden sodium, sugar, and chemicals that trigger inflammation in their blood vessels. A single 12-ounce can of soda contains about 40 milligrams of sodium. But it's not just the sodium that's the problem. The high fructose corn syrup causes your kidneys to retain sodium, while the caffeine acts as a mild diuretic, making you lose more water than you're taking in. Let me explain what happens inside your body when you fall into this dehydration trap. When you wake up in the morning, you're already mildly dehydrated from 8 hours without fluid intake. Your blood volume is slightly reduced, and your body is working to maintain normal blood pressure. Then you drink that morning coffee with artificial sweetener or that glass of orange juice, and several things happen simultaneously. The caffeine causes your adrenal glands to release stress hormones that constrict your blood vessels. The artificial sweeteners trigger an insulin response that affects your kidneys' ability to regulate sodium. And if you've chosen fruit juice, the concentrated sugars cause your blood sugar to spike, leading to inflammation in your arterial walls. But here's what makes this habit so insidious. Throughout the day, as you continue to choose beverages that seem healthy but are actually dehydrating, your body keeps raising your blood pressure to compensate for the reduced blood volume and increased vascular resistance. By evening, when you finally sit down to relax, your cardiovascular system has been in crisis mode for hours, and that's when you feel that crushing chest pressure or those dizzy spells that make you wonder if you're having a heart attack.
The research on this is absolutely clear. A study published in the American Journal of Hypertension followed over 8,000 adults for 5 years and found that people who consumed more than 16 ounces of artificially sweetened beverages daily had a 43% higher risk of developing hypertension compared to those who avoided these drinks entirely. Another groundbreaking study from the European Heart Journal demonstrated that chronic mild dehydration, defined as consuming less than 64 ounces of pure water daily, was associated with a 26% increased risk of cardiovascular events. Now, you might be thinking, but I drink water too, and I'm sure you do. But let me ask you this. When you drink water, is it usually because you're already feeling thirsty? If so, you're playing catch-up, because thirst is actually a late sign of dehydration. By the time you feel thirsty, your body has already activated its emergency blood pressure-raising mechanisms. This is why people often notice their blood pressure is higher in the afternoon and evening. They've been in a state of chronic dehydration all day, even though they thought they were drinking enough fluids. Here's another shocking fact that most doctors don't tell their patients about. The average American consumes over 3,400 milligrams of sodium daily, which is nearly 50% more than the recommended limit. But only about 10% of this sodium comes from the salt shaker. The rest is hidden in processed foods, restaurant meals, and yes, even in beverages we think are healthy. That bottle of sports drink you grab after a workout, it contains 270 milligrams of sodium. That seemingly innocent vegetable juice, it can pack over 600 milligrams of sodium per 8-ounce serving. But sodium isn't the only culprit. Modern food processing has introduced hundreds of chemical additives that your cardiovascular system simply wasn't designed to handle. Monosodium glutamate, commonly known as MSG, can cause blood vessels to constrict in sensitive individuals. Artificial colors like red dye 40 and yellow dye 6 have been linked to inflammatory responses that affect blood pressure regulation. And don't get me started on the preservatives like sodium benzoate and potassium sorbate, which can interfere with your body's natural ability to regulate fluid balance.
I want to take a moment to ask something important. When was the last time someone really listened to your concerns about high blood pressure? Not just the numbers on your test results, but how you feel living with this condition day after day. Many people tell me privately how isolated they feel, as if no one really understood the constant weight they carry, that silent fear that accompanies every heartbeat. If you identify with this, I'd really love to hear about your experience in the comments below. It could be something simple like, I've been fighting hypertension for X years, and what troubles me most is your biggest concern. Sharing your story not only helps me create more relevant content for you, but also shows other people watching that they're not alone in this battle. Sometimes knowing that someone else is going through the same situation brings immense relief. And who knows, your experience might be exactly what someone needed to read today to find hope. Now, let's continue our conversation about how we can transform this reality together. The solution to breaking this dangerous habit is surprisingly simple, but it requires a complete shift in how you think about hydration and nutrition. First, you need to understand that proper hydration isn't just about drinking water. It's about creating the right balance of electrolytes in your system while avoiding the substances that disrupt this delicate balance. When I work with patients to reverse this habit, we focus on 3 key strategies: strategic hydration, electrolyte optimization, and toxin elimination. Strategic hydration means drinking water proactively, not reactively. Instead of waiting until you feel thirsty, you need to establish a hydration schedule that keeps your blood volume stable throughout the day. I recommend starting each day with 16 to 20 ounces of pure water before consuming any other beverages. This immediately begins to restore your blood volume and signals to your cardiovascular system that it doesn't need to operate in emergency mode. Throughout the day, aim for an additional 6 to 8 ounces of water every hour, adjusting for activity level and climate. But here's where most people go wrong. they try to hydrate with tap water that's loaded with chlorine, fluoride, and other chemicals that can actually contribute to cardiovascular stress. The chlorine in tap water, while necessary for killing bacteria, can damage the delicate lining of your blood vessels over time. Fluoride, despite its dental benefits, has been shown in some studies to affect thyroid function, which plays a crucial role in blood pressure regulation. This is why I recommend investing in a high-quality water filtration system or choosing spring water with a balanced mineral profile. Electrolyte optimization is the second piece of the puzzle. Your body needs the right balance of sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium to maintain proper blood pressure. The problem is that most Americans get way too much sodium and nowhere near enough potassium and magnesium. The ideal ratio is about 4 grams of potassium for every gram of sodium, but the typical American diet provides the opposite ratio. This imbalance forces your kidneys to work overtime, leading to fluid retention and elevated blood pressure.
The best way to optimize your electrolytes naturally is through whole foods, not sports drinks or electrolyte supplements that often contain artificial ingredients. One medium banana provides about 420 milligrams of potassium, while a cup of cooked spinach delivers over 800 milligrams. For magnesium, which acts as a natural calcium channel blocker to help relax blood vessels, focus on foods like pumpkin seeds, almonds, and dark chocolate. Just 1 ounce of pumpkin seeds provides over 150 milligrams of magnesium, which is about 40% of your daily needs. Toxin elimination is perhaps the most overlooked aspect of blood pressure management. Every day, your body is exposed to thousands of chemicals through food, water, air, and personal care products. While your liver and kidneys work hard to eliminate these toxins, chronic exposure can overwhelm these organs, leading to inflammation and oxidative stress that directly impacts your cardiovascular system. The artificial sweeteners I mentioned earlier are particularly problematic because they can disrupt your gut microbiome, leading to increased inflammation and insulin resistance. One of the most effective ways to reduce your toxic load is to eliminate artificial beverages entirely. Instead of that morning orange juice, try making fresh vegetable juice with cucumber, celery, and a small amount of lemon. Cucumber is 96% water and provides natural electrolytes without the concentrated sugars. Celery contains compounds called phthalides that help relax blood vessel walls, while lemon provides vitamin C and citric acid that support kidney function. For your morning caffeine fix, consider switching from coffee to green tea, but not for the reasons you might think. While coffee can provide beneficial antioxidants, the way most people prepare and consume it often counteracts these benefits. Adding artificial sweeteners, flavored creamers, and consuming it on an empty stomach can create blood sugar spikes and crashes that stress your cardiovascular system. Green tea, on the other hand, contains L-theanine, an amino acid that promotes relaxation and can actually help lower blood pressure. The caffeine in green tea is also released more slowly, providing sustained energy without the jitters and crashes associated with coffee. If you absolutely must have coffee, make it work for your cardiovascular health instead of against it. Choose organic, single-origin beans to avoid pesticide residues. Brew it with filtered water and add a pinch of sea salt and a teaspoon of coconut oil. The sea salt provides natural minerals, while the coconut oil provides medium-chain triglycerides that can help stabilize blood sugar. Never add artificial sweeteners, and if you need sweetness, use a small amount of raw honey or stevia leaf extract.
Throughout the day, replace all other beverages with herbal teas that specifically support cardiovascular health. Hibiscus tea has been shown in multiple studies to lower blood pressure as effectively as some prescription medications. A clinical trial published in the Journal of Nutrition found that drinking 3 cups of hibiscus tea daily for 6 weeks reduced systolic blood pressure by an average of 7 points and diastolic pressure by 3 points. Hawthorn tea is another powerful option that has been used for centuries to support heart health. Modern research shows that hawthorn can help improve blood flow and reduce the workload on the heart. The timing of your fluid intake is just as important as what you drink. Many people make the mistake of drinking large amounts of fluid with meals, which can dilute digestive enzymes and interfere with nutrient absorption. Instead, drink the majority of your fluids between meals, stopping about 30 minutes before eating and resuming about an hour after eating. This ensures optimal digestion while maintaining steady hydration throughout the day. Another critical aspect that most people overlook is the temperature of the beverages they consume. Ice-cold drinks can actually constrict blood vessels temporarily, while extremely hot beverages can cause them to dilate suddenly. Both of these responses can affect blood pressure readings. Room temperature or slightly warm beverages are ideal for maintaining cardiovascular stability. Let me share with you a specific protocol that has helped hundreds of my patients break the dehydration-hypertension cycle within just 2 weeks. Upon waking, drink 16 ounces of filtered water with a pinch of Himalayan sea salt and the juice of half a lemon. This immediately begins rehydrating your system while providing natural electrolytes. Wait at least 30 minutes before consuming any other beverages or food. For breakfast, instead of juice or coffee, try a green smoothie made with cucumber, celery, spinach, and a small green apple for natural sweetness. This provides hydration, electrolytes, and fiber without the blood sugar spikes associated with fruit juices. Mid-morning, sip on hibiscus tea or green tea, but limit caffeine intake to before noon to avoid sleep disruption, which can independently raise blood pressure. For lunch, accompany your meal with room temperature water infused with cucumber slices or mint leaves. The natural compounds in these plants provide additional cardiovascular benefits while making water more appealing to drink. Afternoon hydration should focus on herbal teas like chamomile or passion flower, which have mild sedative effects that can help counteract the stress response that builds throughout the day. Evening hydration is crucial but often overlooked. Many people avoid drinking fluids in the evening because they don't want to wake up during the night to urinate. However, mild dehydration during sleep can cause blood pressure to rise in the early morning hours, which is when most heart attacks occur. The key is to drink smaller amounts more frequently rather than large amounts all at once. A few sips of room temperature water every hour until bedtime is usually sufficient to maintain hydration without causing sleep disruption.
The foods you eat alongside proper hydration can either enhance or undermine your efforts to control blood pressure. Processed foods are loaded with hidden sodium and chemicals that can trigger the same stress response as dehydration. Reading labels becomes essential, but even foods marketed as healthy can be problematic. That low-fat yogurt might contain 15 grams of sugar and artificial flavors. The whole grain bread could have over 200 milligrams of sodium per slice. Even seemingly healthy options, like prepackaged salads, often come with dressings that contain high-fructose corn syrup and preservatives. The solution is to focus on whole, unprocessed foods that naturally support cardiovascular health while providing the hydration and electrolytes your body needs. Fruits and vegetables with high water content, like watermelon, cantaloupe, tomatoes, and bell peppers, provide natural hydration along with potassium and other heart-healthy nutrients. A cup of watermelon is 92% water and provides over 300 milligrams of potassium, with virtually no sodium. Cooking methods also matter when you're trying to break the dehydration-hypertension cycle. Steaming vegetables preserves their natural water content, while concentrating their mineral content. Boiling can leach out water-soluble vitamins and minerals, while frying adds inflammatory oils that can stress your cardiovascular system. Raw preparations like salads and smoothies provide maximum hydration, but some people with digestive issues may need to lightly steam vegetables to improve absorption. Supplementation can play a supportive role, but it should never replace proper hydration and nutrition. Magnesium supplements can be helpful for people who struggle to get enough from food sources, but choose forms like magnesium glycinate or magnesium malate that are better absorbed and less likely to cause digestive upset.
Potassium supplements are generally not recommended because they can be dangerous if you have kidney problems or take certain medications. It's much safer and more effective to increase potassium through food sources. One supplement that deserves special mention is omega-3 fatty acids. These essential fats help reduce inflammation in blood vessel walls and can improve the flexibility of arteries. However, not all omega-3 supplements are created equal. Many fish oil supplements are rancid by the time they reach store shelves, and some contain concerning levels of mercury and other toxins. Look for supplements that are third-party tested for purity and freshness. Or better yet, get your omega-3s from whole food sources like wild-caught salmon, sardines, walnuts, and flax seeds. The role of stress in the dehydration-hypertension cycle cannot be overstated. When you're chronically stressed, your body produces excess cortisol, which affects how your kidneys handle sodium and water. This creates a vicious cycle where dehydration increases stress hormones, which in turn makes it harder for your body to maintain proper fluid balance. Breaking this cycle requires addressing both the physical and emotional aspects of stress.
Simple breathing exercises can be remarkably effective for lowering blood pressure in the moment. The 4-7-8 breathing technique, where you inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, and exhale for 8, activates your parasympathetic nervous system and can lower blood pressure within minutes. Practicing this technique for just 5 minutes twice daily can lead to significant improvements in cardiovascular health over time. Regular physical activity is another crucial component, but it doesn't have to mean intense workouts that leave you gasping for air. A gentle 20-minute walk after meals can help regulate blood sugar and improve circulation. Swimming is particularly beneficial because the water pressure provides natural compression that helps return blood to the heart, reducing the workload on your cardiovascular system. Even simple stretching exercises can help by improving blood flow and reducing muscle tension that can contribute to elevated blood pressure. Sleep quality plays a massive role in blood pressure regulation, and dehydration can significantly impact your sleep. When you're dehydrated, your body produces more stress hormones, which can make it difficult to fall asleep and stay asleep. Poor sleep, in turn, raises blood pressure and makes you more likely to reach for caffeinated beverages the next day, perpetuating the cycle. Ensuring proper hydration throughout the day while avoiding excessive fluid intake right before bed can help improve sleep quality and break this pattern. The bedroom environment also matters for blood pressure control. Electronic devices emit blue light that can interfere with melatonin production, while electromagnetic fields from phones and wireless routers may affect heart rate variability. Creating a cool, dark, quiet sleeping environment while keeping electronic devices out of the bedroom can significantly improve both sleep quality and cardiovascular health. Monitoring your progress is essential for staying motivated and making necessary adjustments. Keep a simple log of your daily fluid intake, including the types of beverages you consume and how you feel throughout the day. Many people are surprised to discover patterns they never noticed, like afternoon energy crashes corresponding with inadequate morning hydration, or evening anxiety coinciding with excessive caffeine consumption earlier in the day. Blood pressure readings can vary significantly throughout the day, so it's important to take measurements at consistent times and under similar conditions. The most accurate readings are typically obtained first thing in the morning before eating or drinking anything, and again in the evening before dinner. Avoid checking your blood pressure immediately after consuming beverages, especially those containing caffeine, as this can temporarily elevate readings.
Remember that breaking the dehydration-hypertension habit is a process, not an event. Most people see initial improvements within the first week of proper hydration and toxin elimination, but it can take several weeks for your cardiovascular system to fully adapt to these changes. Be patient with yourself and focus on consistency rather than perfection. Even small improvements in your hydration habits can lead to significant benefits for your blood pressure and overall health.
The key is to view this not as a temporary diet or health kick, but as a permanent lifestyle change that supports your long-term cardiovascular health. Once you experience the energy, mental clarity, and peace of mind that comes with stable blood pressure, you'll wonder why you waited so long to make these changes. Your heart, your family, and your future self will thank you for taking action today to break this dangerous but common habit that has been silently sabotaging your health. If you made it this far, you probably know how difficult it is to live with uncontrolled blood pressure. That constant worry, medications with side effects, restrictions that seem to steal some joy from everyday life. I want you to know that you're not alone in this journey. Our channel was born from the desire to create a support community for people like you who seek natural and effective alternatives to care for cardiovascular health. Every week we share new discoveries, simple recipes that help control pressure naturally, and answer questions that doctors often don't have time to explain during consultations. If this content made sense to you, consider subscribing to the channel and activating notifications. This way, we can walk together on this health journey, one step at a time, without rushing, but with the consistency your heart deserves. I don't promise miracles, but I guarantee honest information based on serious research and the experience of those who have already achieved real results. Take care of yourself, and I hope to meet you in the next video where we'll continue our conversation about how to live better even with hypertension. Your heart thanks you for every small care you dedicated to it today.